الخير أحبتي، إن شاء الله دوم الصحة والسلامة لكم بهذا اليوم من شهر جانوري. اليوم حبيت غير موضوع تدريس اللغة الإنجليزية وتعلم اللغة الإنجليزية، فاستضافت أحد المدرسات الامريكيات وحبينا نناقش بعض المسائل اللي تتعلق بطبيعة دراسة اللغة الإنجليزية بالعراق. احنا رحنا سوينا جولة ببعض المدارس داخل بغداد، والمدرسة لاحظت أداء المدرسين وأداء الطلبة وكونت عندها فكرة عن طبيعة الدراسة هنا، فكونت لنا مجموعة من الأسئلة بهذا الخصوص. فحبيت نقعد نناقش هذه الأسئلة. إذا حابين تستمعون للأسئلة والأجوبة مالتها بهذا الموضوع. النقاش مو شبه شامل، احنا عندنا هواي مشاكل بالعراق تدريس اللغة الإنجليزية وتعلم اللغة الإنجليزية. الأسئلة اللي وجهت لي إياها هي بخصوص ما هو الكتاب اللي تنصحين به حتى ندرسه باللغة الإنجليزية؟ شنو النصائح العامة اللي تنصحيها للطالب العراقي حتى يتعلم اللغة الإنجليزية؟ شنو المسائل اللي تتعلق بطريقة إدارة الدرس بالنسبة للمدرسين؟ هماتين ناقشناها بهذا الموضوع وبهذا الفيديو. فالمقطع الجاي حتكون مقابلتي وياها، وعندكم مطلق الحرية يعني مشاركة أي أسئلة، وإن شاء الله بالفيديوهات القادمة حنكون أجوبة على هذه الأسئلة إضافة اللي ذكرناها بالورشة. شكرا لكم، نلتقي بكم بعد الفاصل. So, hello again, this is the English trainer d.وليد. I'm hosting a great English teacher here, Lisa. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and any kind of advice, recommendations to English teachers or English students, typically Iraqi students? The floor is yours. You can talk about anything you like, tapping on your experience in the field.
Well, my name is Lisa Regner, as Walid here has mentioned. I've been teaching in Asia and Central Asia and in the Middle East, especially when they're still in their home country. Studying English is not commonly spoken there, so trying to practice outside of class is a bit more difficult for EFL students in particular. But I highly recommend trying to interact and use the language as much as possible outside the classroom walls. And that can be done very easily online now. And you can have conversation buddies from afar, or try to interact with people who do speak English, maybe in Iraq, that come through as well.
So I'm pretty sure you got a little bit of background about the situation of English in Iraq. A lot of people know a lot of vocabulary. You got an issue with pronunciation and speaking.
Sure.
So what's your advice for them?
Well, usually pronunciation and speaking is linked to listening. So I recommend doing as much listening as possible. And that can be is based on your level and ability. That can be watching movies, podcasts, or other types of listening activities, but just trying to listen to how the language is pronounced and try to repeat back in that way. And definitely I've seen an improvement with students who do a lot of listening practice. Their speaking does improve.
Now, that's for the students. I think we should not marginalize the teachers too of English here. So Lisa's been to a school here in downtown Baghdad, and she's been in touch with a lot of Iraqi teachers of English language. And she developed some kind of observation on what they should do and what they should not do, and what they should do in the classroom. And this has actually been the training that we've been getting from you recently. So if you can have any comments about that part.
Well, yes, some of the English language teachers I have met here in Iraq also are faced with perhaps difficulties with their own language ability with teaching some of the curriculum. The curriculum has become more difficult and has been revised. It is quite good, but it can be quite difficult for some of the teachers. And also trying to adapt to shorter lessons. They are limited by time in their schools and what they can do in the classroom. And I understand that can be quite difficult. But just adding a few activities in each lesson to make it more interactive would be a benefit for the students, such as pair work and or having them do quick little vocabulary games or warm-up activities just to get them talking a bit more.
Some students say that I would never speak English in a very good way until I travel to a country where they speak English as their first language. Do you think that's true or not, and why?
I don't think that's true. There's been a lot of research to indicate that after a certain point, usually about 12 to 14, where you can acquire a native-like pronunciation of the language. After that, at some point, it doesn't really matter who you're interacting with. You can still develop the language and improve your pronunciation in interacting with people if their English is their second language or native speakers. And the reality of the situation around the world is there are more ESL students or speakers out there than there are native speakers now. So it'll be more common actually to be communicating with, say, a Japanese person speaking English or a Chinese person speaking English to you. So you need to be able to interact.
There's some misconception about the United States and UK actually, and that a lot of people here think that there are only American and British people live in these countries. And the language that they use in there is a standard language. And there are no varieties of accents, there are no varieties of dialects. So if you could tell us a little bit about this to demystify this kind of like stereotype.
Yes. I mean, well, there are a variety of accents in the US and in New York in particular. You can, as an example, has 5 different accents within one city. There has
one city.
Yeah, one city. Yeah, and students always want to know what the standard accent is. I think that's a matter of opinion of who holds the standard accent and pronunciation. But also in terms of world Englishes, I do believe we have world Englishes now, and they're just as acceptable as English coming out of the US or Canada. The only thing that I would like to state about that is that we do need to kind of all somewhat conform to a certain standard so that we are still able to communicate in English, even though we have variations of English now, that when we do go outside our borders and interact, that we're able to do that well without using too much slang and I mean, it's